morning, my dear students. We are studying theories on international trade. In our previous videos, we have studied modern theory on international trade by Swedish economists Hickscher and Ohlian. According to modern theory, international trade takes place because of factor endowments. Factor endowments means the amount of factors of productions possessed by a country, and it is factor endowment which is the cause for international trade according to Hickscher and Ohlian. This theory we have discussed in detail with the help of diagram. After studying this particular theory in detail, in this video we are going to study the last part of this theory, and that is criticisms on the modern theory of international trade. This theory has been criticized by different experts, economists, thinkers on different areas. This theory is not a complete or final theory on international trade because it has certain limitations. It has certain loopholes, and that we are studying under the title Criticisms on the Theory. Look at the first point. According to this particular theory, a capital rich country will produce and export capital intensive goods and import labor intensive goods, and vice versa. What is the meaning? A labor rich country will produce and export labor intensive goods and import capital intensive goods from capital rich country. This is the heart of the modern theory on international trade. But in reality we find a capital rich country exports capital intensive goods and also import capital intensive goods from capital rich country or labor rich country also, which is not explained or which is not considered by this particular theory. This is the one of the major limitations or criticisms on the modern theory of international trade. In reality, what we find, a capital rich country exports capital intensive goods, there is no doubt, but at the same time it imports capital intensive goods from some other countries. Here the theory does not stand or it does not hold good. It is disproved when this kind of situations we come across in real world. I have taken one example. Look at that. USA produce and export computers to UK. Computers are the example of capital intensive goods. At the same time, USA imports cars from UK or from any other country. So what we learn here, car is also capital intensive goods. The modern theory on international trade does not hold good when it comes to this kind of examples. In this connection, we can have one more example. India is labor rich country. It produces and export labor intensive goods. It produces and export labor intensive goods to Bangladesh. On the contrary, Bangladesh is also labor rich country. It produces labor intensive goods and export to India. Under such circumstances, the modern theory on international trade does not hold good. It fails when it comes to this kind of situations. This is one of the loopholes or drawbacks or criticisms on this particular theory. The second important limitation or criticism that we come across is the modern theory on international trade does not explain the role played by product differentiations in international trade. This particular theory does not explain the importance or the role played by product differentiation in international trade. I have put this product differentiation into single quote. What is this product differentiation? Product differentiation means products are differentiated from one another on the basis of brand, color, design, package, price, size, weight, taste. On these different areas, products are differentiated from one another. Product differentiation we have studied in first semester while studying monopolistic competition. The whole world is filled with products which are differentiated from one another on various aspects. Now this product differentiation has its own typical role in international trade, which is not explained in this theory. This is the major drawback of Heckscher-Holian model on international trade. Look at this. A country may import goods which are already produced within the country due to product differentiation. We have taken one example. England cutleries, that is home appliances, are sold in German and German cutleries are sold in England. Product is the same. Cutleries are produced in England and sold in German. German is producing cutleries in their own country and they are sold in UK. Same products are produced in both the countries, but yet trade is taking place between these two countries. Reason is these cutleries are different from one another on the basis of design, package, color, quality, quantity, size, and therefore England cutleries are sold in German and German cutleries are sold in England. I'll give one more example. We are importing many cars from European countries. That does not mean we are not manufacturing cars in the country. We are also manufacturing cars in the country and also importing from other countries, because the cars manufactured in other countries, they are different from Indian cars on the basis of design, package, functions, color, their quality, their performance and all that. And our cars are also sold in Europe. That does not mean that Europeans are not producing cars. Though the products are produced in all the in different countries, but they are exchanged between one another because the product differentiation exists. This is not explained or not at all dealt by modern theory on international trade. This is another important drawback of HO model on international trade. After studying this, we come across another important criticism on HO model on international trade. The third one is the theory does not make any references to byproducts. Sometimes byproducts may overtake main products in international trade. There are many examples where byproducts are overtaking the main products and they are making huge business, huge trade, and this kind of things are not explained are not considered by Hicksher and Olian while explaining theory on international trade. After knowing this, the fourth important criticism is the theory believes price depends on cost of production. Agreed. Prices of goods and services depends upon cost of production. There is no doubt in this. But what is the reality? Price does not depend only on cost of production, but it depends upon so many other factors also, which are not explained in this particular theory. This is the main drawback. Price of a product, it depends upon cost of production and also so many other factors. They are not discussed in this particular theory. This is the main drawback or loophole of this particular theory. Now, price depends upon number of factors. This also we have studied in first semester in economics. Price of the product depends upon cost of the production. It depends upon climatic conditions. It depends upon the income of the buyer and buyers. It depends upon taste, habits, behavior. It depends upon population in the market. It depends upon so many things. It depends upon geographical conditions. It depends upon situations and circumstances. Prices of goods and services are determined by n number of factors, but this theory considers only cost of production, which is unrealistic assumption. So this is the fourth important criticism on modern theory on international trade. Fifth and last important loophole or limitation of this particular theory is the theory is based on many unrealistic assumptions. There is a typing error. The theory is based on many unrealistic assumptions like existence of perfect competition in factor and product market, existence of two countries producing only two commodities, no transport cost, no trade restrictions. All these assumptions are unrealistic. They do not have any base. Therefore, theory has its own weaknesses. In real world, we do not have perfect competition, either in factor market or in product market. In real world, we have countries more than two and we have commodities more than two, which is not at all considered by this particular theory. In real world, we find transport costs do exist and there are many restrictions on trade. All these things are not considered seriously while developing a theory on international trade by Swedish economists Hicksher and Olian. These are few important criticisms which we have discussed in this theory. With all these criticisms, the modern theory on international trade holds good in economics even today because it has some relevance. It has some base to explain other theories on international trade. With this, I end my explanation on criticisms of modern theory on international trade. With this, I say thank you one and all. Thank you.